Okay, I'm just waiting to see if I'm coming on. Okay. I'm just waiting to see if I'm coming on. All right. Hi, everyone. This is Esther. Thank you for joining me on my next live stream. I am so happy to be here and I really enjoyed last week. So thank you for joining me last week as well. Um, Please remember to say hello to Robin, who is also in the chat room with us. So in today's video, we will do another basic grammar lesson. This is lesson number 2, and we will do the present continuous tense. Okay, so I hope you guys are excited. Let's see who's in the chat room with us today. Okay, so I see some familiar names. Thank you for joining. Jenabu Diallo, hi, thank you for joining. Lady Lion, I am so excited to be here. I'm glad that you're excited as well. Duck YouTube, thank you for waiting. Hi, Robin, good morning. Um, Maybe not in Korea, but Tan Tan Nui, hello. Driss Medil, hi. Ziad Hosni, hi. Glad to see you again. Anfal, hello. Carrie Page, thank you for joining. Prakar, Hamza Mujain, Ari Lenga, Tika Nur Fitria. Well, wow, Hamza Mujain. There's so many people. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. How are you? I hope you are all having a great day or night. Um, and again, thank you for joining us, and I hope you guys are doing well. Um, so I just wanted to say again, thank you for joining us. Robin and I are working really hard to work on this page. We take a lot of time and effort to make the videos, to prepare the lessons, and to teach them in a way that is accessible for everybody. So we hope that you will consider supporting us. You can do that by checking the links in the description, and we would be very grateful. And we really, really are thankful for all of your support. So let's go ahead and start with the grammar lesson. Are you guys excited for the grammar? Let's see how you guys are doing. Yes, Ziad, I do remember you. Okay. And I see Hamza asked, how's Ongi? Ongi is doing very well. He might make an appearance later on in the lesson. Okay. So yes, we are doing the present continuous. Robin says he hates grammar. I hope that's not true for you guys. Okay, so let's begin. Our grammar lesson today, as I had said already, is the present continuous tense. That's what we will be going over. Here is my plan for today's lesson. First, I will go over the brief lesson, so I will not go in too much detail. Then we will do number 2, a practice. 3, we will do a test. And then finally, number 4, we'll do some homework, or I will assign some homework for you guys to try. Okay, so let's start with how we use the present continuous tense. Okay, and I see UK Android. Thank you for joining. So when do we use the present continuous tense? First, we use the present continuous tense to describe an action that's happening right now. So you can say, I'm watching Esther's live English class, right? I can say, I am teaching the live English class. I'm teaching present continuous. I'm doing that right now. I can also use the present continuous tense to describe something I will do in the future, a future action or plan. I'm meeting my friend after your English class. Okay? So it shows a plan that you will do after in the future. Okay? So maybe I can tell you that after I finish my live stream lesson, I'm going to school. And let's see. Yes, I remember Freddie. Thank you. Or no, yes, I remember my Mehila. Yes, thank you for coming. Okay, let's move on. When else do we use the present continuous tense? We also use it with the words always. Okay, and we use the present continuous tense with always to mean often. Okay, so I'm always trying to improve my English. It's like saying I'm often trying to improve my English, right? I'm always trying to improve my English. Something that you do quite often. Okay. And number 4, we use the present continuous tense when we're speaking about current trends. So look at this example sentence. It says, more people are learning English around the world. That's something that's happening right now, right? It's a trend that's happening. More people are learning English around the world. I can also say many people are studying Chinese around the world, right? And I'm using the present continuous tense to talk about that trend. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Okay, so I see more people joining. Thank you. So, yeah, these are the rules of how to or when to use, when to use the present continuous tense. Let's move on. Now, there is an exception to these rules. We do not use the present continuous tense when we're talking about a stative verb. Okay, a stative verb. You might remember if you came last week, if you watched last week, we talked a little bit about stative verbs. So let me go and kind of explain to you what they are. Here is a list of stative verbs. They are not action verbs, okay? Instead, stative verbs talk about feelings, right? They talk about opinions. They talk about how you perceive something with the senses, right? The senses are look, taste, hear, smell, feel, right? So these are stative verbs. It's too long for me to read over all of them, but here are some examples. And again, I explained when we use stative verbs. They are not action verbs. You're not doing something. You're more describing something or giving an opinion or your feeling. Okay, it looks like we don't have any questions about stative verbs, so let's go back. Why did I talk about stative verbs? Because stative verbs cannot be used in the present continuous tense. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Let's look at number 1. He is needing help now. Now, the verb need is a stative verb. Okay, remember, we cannot use stative verbs in the present continuous tense. So he is needing help now is incorrect. Okay, that is using need in the present continuous tense, and that is not correct. Instead, we have to use the simple present tense. He needs help now. He needs help now is the correct way to use that stative verb. Okay. Unfortunately, my chat has disconnected, so I cannot see what you guys are saying, but I will move on and I will address your comments and questions when I am connected again. Let's move on to the next example. Want is also a stative verb. Want. It's not an action verb, it's a stative verb. So, can we use it in the present continuous tense? The answer is no. So let's look at the first example. For number 2, the top example. I am wanting a drink now. I am wanting a drink now. As you can see in the red, that is not correct. We do not use want in the present continuous tense because it is a stative verb. Instead, we use the simple present tense. I want a drink now. That is correct because want is a stative verb. I want a drink now. Let me go back to the list of stative verbs so that you can take a look. Go ahead and take a few seconds to read over as many as you can. Okay, well, I am going to move on to the next slide. Unfortunately, I'm still not connected to the chat. I hope that will fix itself very soon. All right, so let's move on to looking at how to form the present continuous tense. So here you see in the slide how to form the affirmative or positive present continuous tense. So first, you start with the subject. Okay, the subject can be what? I, you, he, she, it, we, they, right? It can be those pronouns, or it can be a different person, place, or thing like Robin, or my mom, or Peter, or another name, right? That can be the subject. And then you take to be, you take the be verb. For example, what are some be verbs? Let me give you a second to try thinking on your own. Okay, some be verbs are am, is, and are. Then you take the base verb. For example, can you think of some base verbs that are action verbs? Maybe teach. And then you add ing to that base verb. So let's look at what happens when we put all of this together. So we have the subject, she. Then we have the be verb is, right? Is matches the subject, she. And then we take the base verb walk and then we add ing. So what happens when we put that all together? We have she is walking. She is walking. Let's move on to another rule for the formation. Okay. When we are using the negative, when we are trying to show that something is not happening, here is what we do. We take the subject first. Again, it can be a pronoun like he, she, it, I, you, we, or they. Or it can be a person or maybe the dog. And then we take the be verb, right? Is, am, are. Make sure you use the correct be verb that matches the subject. And then here's where we see something different. We use the word not. Okay, that's how we show the negative. Something is not. And then, just as we did with the affirmative, we take the base verb and then the ing. Okay, I'm going to try refreshing my page. Hopefully, I can see the chat then. Please give me 1 second. Okay, maybe what you can do is just see if you can make your own negative present continuous sentence as I wait. And thank you so much for your patience. Okay, good. It's working. Let's see where we are. Okay. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry that I missed a lot of your comments. I'm towards the end. I got a lot of good questions. Let's see. Robin, thank you for your support. I hope you guys saw that stative verbs are verbs that express a state and not an action. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue with the negative. You've looked at the rules of the formation. Let me show you an example. So we have the subject she, and remember the be verb that goes with she is. Then, because we're talking about the negative of the present continuous, we use not. After that, we take the base verb, the base action verb, walk, and then we add ing. So when we put that all together, when we put that all together, we get she is not walking. Please say that along with me if you can. She is not walking. She is not walking. So you can see that it's almost like the affirmative, but we have the word not in the middle. Okay, let's move on to when we want to ask a question. Okay, how do we form a question in the present continuous tense? So first, we start with the be verb. So that's a little different, right? We start with the be verb, and then we have the subject, and then add the base verb and the ing. So that's quite different from what we've been practicing for the affirmative and the negative. Great. I see that Feni and Kareem are already practicing how to ask questions in the present continuous tense, and it looks like they have the right answer. Thank you, UK Android. So, that is correct. We take the be verb is, the subject she, the base verb walk, and we add ing to the action verb. So what do we get? Is she walking? Is she walking? Is she walking? So great job. Now, let's move on to the practice. Are you ready? And Kaushal, thank you. That's a great practice. Are you teaching? You took the be verb, the subject, the base verb, and then the ing. So great job. So let's go ahead and start the practice. You can see two words at the top of the slide, he and think. He is the subject and think is the verb. I want you to tell me in the chat the affirmative, the negative, and the interrogative, the question, for the present continuous tense for this subject and verb. So let me give you a little bit of time to think about this and write your answers in the chat. And while you're doing that, Fenny, you're correct. It would be most common for people to say walk without pronouncing the L. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of great answers. I even see that Jessica Mira Ortiz is using a conjunction to add is not together. That's great as well. Thank you so much, Ziad Hosni, for your support. Okay, so let's go ahead and hi, hi Marcelo. Let's go ahead and look at the answers. So for the affirmative, the correct answer is he is thinking. He is thinking. Number two, the negative is he is not thinking. He is not thinking. And as I mentioned earlier, you can also say he isn't thinking. You can put them together if you'd like. He isn't thinking. That is short for he is not thinking. And finally, number three, the interrogative, when you're making a question, is he thinking? Is he thinking? You'll notice that the be verb comes first. Great job, guys. And let's see. Yes, Florin, when it becomes your, when you're not thinking, you say, I wasn't thinking. Well, actually, that's present tense. So you would say, I am not thinking. Okay, let's move on to the next practice. Are you guys ready? Hello, Lamb. Okay. Next, we have the subject they and the action verb write. They and write. In the chat, please write down the answers for the affirmative, negative, and interrogative sentences in the present continuous tense, and I will give you some time to share your answers. Sanderson, he's thinking is possible. It is correct to say that. Okay, I see Florin took a stab at it. That means Florin tried. I'm still waiting to see some of your other answers. I'm not sure if something's wrong with my chat again or if you guys are still thinking of how to write these three sentences in the present continuous tense. Okay, well, I'm going to move on. Let's take a look at the answers. I hope you guys did practice at home with me. All right, so here are the correct answers. Number one, for the affirmative, we say they are writing. You notice that the be verb is are this time because the subject is they. They are writing. For number two, the negative, we simply put not. They are not writing. They are not writing. And for number three, the interrogative, the question. Are they writing? Are they writing? Are they writing? Those are the correct answers. How did you do? And for the final practice. Here we are. We have the subject we. Okay, so think very carefully, which be verb should I use? And we have the verb sing. Again, the subject is we and the verb is sing. Please think carefully and write the affirmative, the negative, and the interrogative sentences in the present continuous tense in the chat room. I will give you a few seconds or minutes to try. Yay, okay, the chat's working again. Okay, I see some great answers. I'm so happy to see that so many people are participating and trying to share their answers. So thank you so much. Okay, are you ready for the answers? Here we are. Number one, in the affirmative, we say, we are singing. We are singing. We are singing. For the negative, again, we use the word not in the sentence. We are not singing. We are not singing. We are not singing. And number three, the interrogative, the question, we start with the be verb. Are we singing? Are we singing? Are we singing? And it looks like all of you did a great job. Now, we are going to move on to some of the stative verbs. Let's see how we do those. Okay, so okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, so the subject is you. The stative verb, right? The verb here is like, but it's a stative verb. And then you have the word me, the object. Okay, you like me. We want to practice the present continuous tense, but can you use the present continuous tense for a stative verb like? What do you think? Can you say yes or no in the chat? Okay, well, Grace definitely seems to know the answer. And the correct answer is no, you cannot use the present continuous tense for the verb like because it is stative. It's not an action. So, how would we write that in the affirmative? How would we write that in the negative? How do you write that in the interrogative? Let's see if you guys can try. Okay, this one has a lot of more varying answers, right? We have a lot more different answers for this one because it is a little bit confusing, right? So let's take a look at how to do these. As I said, we cannot use this like in the present continuous tense because it's a stative verb. So how do we do it? Well, here are the answers. One, for the affirmative, you say, you like me. You like me. You like me. Number two, for the negative, you use the auxiliary verb not. Do, and then you add not. You do not like me. Or as you can see on the slide, we can put do and not together to write you don't like me. You don't like me. And for the question, interrogative, again you use the helping verb, the auxiliary verb do. Do you like me? Do you like me? All right. And as you notice, we don't use the present continuous tense. Instead, we use the simple present tense. All right. Now, I see that a lot of people used a be verb. Are you like me? Or you are like me. Those sentences make sense, but right now we're not. When you use the be verb and like, this is a little complicated. Let me just keep it simple. When you use the be verb and like, it's talking about how we are similar. Oh, you are like me. We are kind of similar. We're almost the same. But here we're talking about liking somebody. Oh, I like ice cream. I like coffee. I like cats. And that's why we use the auxiliary verb do and not the be verb. Okay, let's try another one. Here is another stative verb, prefer. I is the subject, prefer is the stative verb, and T is the object. So please go ahead and see how would you make the affirmative, the negative, and interrogative. And write your answers in the chat. Wow, great job, guys. Yes, that is correct, Hamza. We cannot use this verb in the present continuous tense. We can't use prefer. It's a stative verb. Instead, we can use it in the simple present tense. So let's look at the correct answers. But I think you already know this. So here are the wrong answers. We cannot use prefer in the present continuous tense because it's a stative verb. It shows an opinion. So, how do we do this correctly? Here we are, number one. I prefer tea. That's the simple present tense. Number one, for the affirmative, I prefer tea. I prefer tea. Number two, in the negative, we say I do not prefer tea. Remember, we use the auxiliary verb do. I do not prefer tea. I don't prefer tea. And number three, for the interrogative, the question, we say, do I prefer tea? Do I prefer tea? Do I prefer tea? All right, so you guys did a wonderful job. Okay, so let's move on to the test. I think you guys are ready. All right, So I have a sentence here and I want you to change it into the present continuous tense. And there are many different possible answers. So I just want you to write in your chat what are some of the possible answers, and I'll share them with you, what I thought. Okay, so go ahead and write your answers in the chat. Yes, please remember to use the present continuous tense as you do this. Wow. And again, there are many possible answers. So don't be scared to share what you think because there's not just one answer. Yes, we do have some funny answers. Um, okay, so let's go ahead. I will share some of the possible answers that I thought of, but remember there is more than one correct answer, and here are mine. So the most important thing to notice is that the be verb that we use is. And that's because the subject is my sister. That's one person, right? So we use is. My sister is, and we can say cleaning the house. My sister is searching the house. My sister is painting the house. And I saw a lot of other great answers in the chat. Now, if we had the word in, you could say, my sister is staying in the house, um, is watching a movie in the house, right? I saw some of those answers as well. And as Florence said, my sister is destroying the house. I guess that's possible. That would not be very nice, but yes. Um, so, those are some examples of what could fit in that sentence. Okay, and Grace said, my sister is buying the house. That's a great answer as well. Okay, let's go ahead and try another test question. Okay, so again, please try typing in your answer for this blank. In the present continuous tense, we blank English. So go ahead and type in your answers in the chat. Thank you. And remember, try to use the present continuous tense. Remember, subject, be verb, base verb, plus ing. Wow, I see some great answers already. Keep going. It seems like most of you have a similar answer. Let's see what my possible answers are, but I think a lot of them can be correct. So we saw we are studying English. Again, you'll notice that the be verb we use is are because the subject is we. We are studying English. We are learning English. That was a popular one. We are speaking English. Let's see, were there any others? We are beginning to learn English. That's a good one. We are speaking English. We are teaching. Well, I am teaching English, right? And I noticed earlier someone wrote, we like English. And that was a good catch because remember, like is a stative verb, so we don't use it in the present continuous. Thank you, everybody, for your answers. Okay, let's move on. Question number 3. Take a look at this sentence. I blank my friend after work. Remember, we can use the present continuous tense to talk about a future plan or action, right? So you can see up there, after work. That's the future. What will this person do after work with their friend? Please write what you think is a good answer or a possible answer in the chat. I blink my friend after work. Try to use the present continuous. That's the lesson today. My advice would be just think of the be verb, that's correct, and think of a verb that you can use with the ing to show something that you'll do with your friend after work. And I'm seeing will. Remember, we use the be verb, I, and then be verb, and then verb ing. Okay, this one was a little more challenging, so I'll give you a few more seconds to try. Okay, let's see the best answers for this. Okay, now the be verb for I is am. So you can see we have am all down the line. I am, and then you take the base verb and then add ing. I am meeting my friend after work. I am seeing my friend after work. I am calling my friend after work. Do you guys have any questions about that? Now, Mohammed, I am going to see my friend after work. That works. Bishal Chetri, you wrote, I meet my friend after work. Just remember, you have to put a be verb, am, and then ing at the end of the verb to make it present continuous. Okay? So I hope those of you who made some mistakes will take a look at what you did and see how to change it to make it correct. I saw that Abdul Muntalib wrote visiting. That's fine. Remember to say I am visiting. Don't forget the be verb. I am visiting my friend after work. Okay, great job. Hello, Gaming Technical. Thank you for joining. Let's try question number 4. Okay, the question is the sentence is the kids blink at 6 p.m. The kids blink at 6 p.m. So again, remember that we can use the present continuous tense to talk about something that will happen in the future. But don't use will, okay? We're not talking about the future tense right now. Instead, use the present continuous. Be verb plus verb ing. Okay? So please try putting your answers in the chat. Kiramat Shah, I would say that miss is a stative verb. It's not an action. And you wouldn't really say I'm missing. Sometimes people do, but I would say that's not grammatically correct. Oh, and Ongi is here to say hello. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share the answers. Unfortunately, it looks like the chat is still is having some problems again. I apologize. So I will go ahead and share the answers with you. Share. Remember, there are many possible answers. Okay, so the be verb here is are because the subject is kids. Okay, so there are several answers that can fit in the sentence, and here are mine. The kids are arriving at 6 p.m. The kids are leaving at 6 p.m. And the kids are eating at 6 p.m. You can see that this shows what will happen a little bit later, right? It shows a future plan at 6 p.m. So again, let me quickly reread these. The kids are arriving, right? We took the verb arrive and added ing. The kids are arriving at 6 p.m. The kids are leaving at 6 p.m. And the kids are eating at 6 p.m. Okay. Yes, I do see. I agree with Robin. There were a lot of good answers. Okay. And, oh, Ongi. Hi. Okay. All right. We're coming to our last test question. Remember, we can use the present continuous tense to talk about trends that are happening, right? Things that are happening in our world today. So this is an example. YouTube blank nowadays. Okay, so look at the sentence. Please think of a few answers that can fit in here in the present continuous tense and write your answers in the chat. Sid Chebel, you asked if we can send the answers, I think it was, or the videos. Um, you can always watch the video again after the live stream is over. So that's a good way to get those answers again. Ongi is trying to practice English with us. Okay, so remember base verb, or no, be verb plus verb ing. Okay, I see a lot of good answers. This one is a little more challenging, I would say. What is happening with YouTube nowadays in the present continuous tense? Well, let's find out. Here are some possible answers. YouTube is, we use the be verb is because YouTube is a singular noun. YouTube is growing nowadays. YouTube is developing nowadays. And there are many more answers that are possible. And Mina, you are correct. YouTube is popular nowadays, but we want to practice the present continuous. So I want you to try to think of a verb plus ing that could describe what's going on with YouTube nowadays. Okay, well, that was the test, and we're going to be wrapping up soon, but let's move on really quickly to your favorite part, homework. Okay, here is what I would like you to try. In the description of the video below, please, after the video is over, not right now, please make the following sentences. Write example sentences in the video description. Okay, here they are. Tell me what you are doing right now. Tell me about your future action or plan. and tell me something that you are always doing. Remember, these are some of the usages of the present continuous. So again, in the description of the video after the live stream is over, for homework, please tell me what you are doing right now. Tell me about a future action or plan, and then tell me about something that you are always doing. And Robin and I will check these answers. How does that sound? I think that's going to be easy for you guys. So I hope that you will try. And well, thank you for watching. Kareem says he is sleeping. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. And number 4, tell me about a current trend. Okay. Tell me about a current trend that's happening for you right now. All right. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next week's video, next week's live stream. I hope that you enjoyed today's lesson. I know that it was challenging, but I think all of you did a wonderful job. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to our page, leave a comment, connect with us through social media. And if you guys have any questions, I'll stick around for about a minute or so to answer. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. And yes, thank you, all of you that are thanking me. Thank you for remembering to like and comment. And I am so happy that you guys joined us again today. I hope that you learned a lot. Oh, Robin asks, how old is Ongi? Let's see. Ongi is about 7 years old now. Here he's sitting right next to me. Ongi, say hi. Hi. Okay. Thank you everybody again for joining. Please consider supporting us, and thank you for watching today, and I will see you again next week. Bye.